Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Next after Bakhmut, next after Avdiivka is Chasov Yar, or Chasiv Yar, as the Ukrainians call it. And that is a town west of Bakhmut, or Artemovsk, as the Russians call it. Again, the Russians claim that they are at the outskirts of Chasov Yar. The Ukrainians said, no, you're not. Then they said, well, yeah, you are, but we're gonna queue up. And what's going on here? The situation becomes desperate for the Ukrainians in Chasiv Yar, Yav Yar, and when that town will fall, it will mean nothing. Now they say it's very important, that's the door to Donbass. I have about 4 articles and 2 maps to show you what the situation is in Chasiv Yar. I will start with this video that I made on the 5th of April 5th. Russian troops enter suburbs of Chasov Yar. Fast advances open the road to Kramatorsk and Slovyansk. So this is what I made on the 5th. Then we had, this is from yesterday, changes await right sector's 67th Brigade after losing positions in Chasiv Yar. That's the same town. Now we're going to go to another article. We're going to come back to this one. This is today's article, but let me give you some history. This was in April 6th. Remember, this is on April 5th. Then you have April 6th. Ukrainian forces still control eastern town of Chasiv Yar, top general says. Let me show you where that is so we have a visual understanding of this. So it's in Donetsk Oblast. It's west of Artemovsk or Bakhmut. Here it is. This is Artemovsk. Bakhmut was taken by Wagner Group, if you remember, and the Russians. The same thing, right? This is Chasov Yar. Now this is unfortunately, this is from the 12, from Sputnik. I know these guys are slow, but I like the map, how it clearly divides who's who, what's what. But I have another map to show you where exactly the Russian troops are closer. It was zoomed in by Chasov Yar. But let's go back to this one where it said, we still control eastern town of Chasiv Yar. Next article. This is again from the 6th. Remember, this one was on the 5th. On the 6th, Agence France Presse says Ukraine faces key battle in Chasiv Yar, a door to Donbass. The same thing happened with Mariupol, the same thing happened with Bakhmut, the same happened with Avdiivka. If they, Soledar, remember Soledar? Yeah, the salt mines over there. Every time the Russians were at the door of these towns, these guys here said, this is the end of it, man. If that falls, we're doomed. It's doomed. Like it is also in Kharkiv Oblast. You have over there, what's the name of that little town of Bethlehem? Now I have only Slovyansk, but I don't know. It's Kupiansk, not Slovyansk. Kupiansk. Again, Kupiansk is the center. When Kupiansk will fall, then these guys will say, it was nothing. It's just this is where the word they used in Mariupol, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, Soledar. It was symbolic win. That's how they call it after they had all the resources, the Ukrainian men, being killed over there, slaughtered. Anyway, so let's go back to the Agence France Presse claim that once Chasiv Yar will fall, it will become just a symbolic win. And the last article here, Ukraine's top commander says Russia aims to capture Chasiv Yar by May 9th. This is from April 14th, the same date as this article. So remember, they talk in symbolic terms. Oh, he wants to get Bakhmut before, I can't remember what it was then. Oh, they want to take Avdiivka before this. They always, these imbeciles, pinpointed it to symbolism. First, it was that imbecile, what's his name, The former defense minister of Ukraine, yeah, another Zelensky Stein, Reznikov, who got fired for some hanky-panky, and he is not indicted, he's just left alone. Where is Reznikov? On the contrary, I think he was appointed to a position in an organization. I wanted to make a video on that, but I said I don't think people would be very interested in that. But anyway, in an organization, global organization, regarding promoting a certain kind of security, and so now he's a lecturer. He's a whatever he is, the attorney. He was a one, but his attorney. I can make shit up. So anyway, she said that, oh, they want to capture this on May 9th. Again, it was, I think, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, it was in 2022. And it was 2023. And the same, nothing happened. Or, oh, they want to do this. Yeah, I think Avdiivka was to celebrate the anniversary of the start of the war in Ukraine, the 24th of February 2022. Oh, that's why. Nothing related with that. But these guys work like, oh my God, it's a black cat who are running around. Let me turn around 3 times, speed 5 times, and crawl. These guys did not learn anything. The Greeks already told us 2,400 years ago, guys, it's not Zeus with the thunderbolt, okay? It's not. It's a, Anyway, let's move back to the first article and discuss this one. Ukrainska Pravda changes await right sector's 67th Brigade after losing positions in Chasiv Yar. Losing positions. After losing some positions on the Chasiv Yar front in Donetsk Oblast, where heavy fighting has been ongoing since the beginning of 2024, the 67th Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Right Sector, Ukrainian Volunteer Corps, is being investigating, and the military personnel who served as the brigade's backbone are being transferred to other units. Good, get them out and let that go. Official statement of the 67th Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Right Source. Quote, we inform you that the High Command of Ukraine's Armed Forces has begun the process of transferring all commanders and fighters from the Right Sector, Ukrainian Volunteer Corps, who form the brigade and serve as its combat backbone. The motivation for such actions are unknown to us, because they know it's an imminent loss of Chasiv Yar. All attempts to halt this process and determine the reasons have been unsuccessful. Maybe it's a mutiny. Perhaps someone believes that scattering the right sector fighters into various armed forces units will result in the destruction of the right sector Ukrainian Volunteer Corps. Now, the brigade has a number of commissions. End quote. According to Ukrainska Pravda, military leadership at various levels was curious about why such a motivated unit as the right sector was failing on this front. Failing. One of these factors revealed by the audit was issues with the brigade. Okay, they motivated, but it was issue with the brigade. The leadership allegedly separated the soldiers from the right sector and those who were transferred from other parts during the recent replenishment. They were referred to as pixels in reference to the pattern of the Ukrainian military uniform. The attitude towards the pixels was even worse. They were the first to be sent into combat. Oh, combat fatigue. And their lack of experience made them lose territory. According to a source of Ukrainska Pravda, this was not the only reason for the brigade's combat capacity deficiencies, as revealed by the audit. According to a former Ukrainian Volunteer Corps fighter who served in the unit during the 2014-2018 anti-terrorist operation in Ukraine's east, and the first year, so those guys were terrorists in the east. This is why I tell them, if you conduct an anti-terrorist operation, that means the guys in the Ukraine's east were the terrorists. Did they advance towards Kiev, or the other guys were advancing towards them? So who was the terrorist here? And the first year of the current stems from the inability to reform the former volunteer unit in the regular brigade. Following the reforming of the Ukrainian Volunteer Corps, volunteers were forced to leave according to military tenets. So they were just mercenaries, I guess. And now they have to follow some rules. As determined by the newly formed Army Command, the former Ukrainian Volunteer Corps leaders lacked the military experience necessary for this position. So imagine these guys fought for 4 years. What is that, 4 years? Right here. They fought for 4 years. And this now you find out that these guys lacked, right? The leaders lacked the military experience necessary for fighting position. Is that what it is? For high positions? So you got some imbeciles in charge of other. That's a crime. During the tenure of the former commander-in-chief, Valery Zaluzny, the backbone of the Ukrainian Volunteer Corps, particularly Andriy Stempitsky, are you Polish? Was able to maintain some autonomy in the brigade while receiving assistance from the general staff. And I'm quoting, and when Sirsky, the Russian, was appointed, they were confronted with the fact that they must only do activities that are appropriate for their official position. So they were doing what the fuck they wanted. They saw it as a political persecution for highly ideological Ukrainian. What do you mean political persecution? What? Ethnic persecution tomorrow? What do you mean? For highly ideological Ukrainian Volunteer Corps combatants, this appears to be the end of the highly ideological Ukrainian Volunteer Corps combatants. Ideology? The Russian says these guys are Nazis, that kind of ideology. Is this what they're talking about in a euphemistic way? This appears to be the end of a movement, but is actually the system bringing its combat units up to standard. So these guys, until now, had that unit do what they want with their political ideology motivation. The right sector Ukrainian Volunteer Corps joined the Ukrainian Armed Forces as the full-scale invasion began. But still, in 2023, the Ukrainian Volunteer Corps was split into two parts. One joined the Special Operations Forces and the other formed the 67 separate mechanized brigade. In February 2024, a portion of the Da Vinci Wolves unit transferred from the 67 Brigade to the 59 separate motorized infantry brigade. So Ukrainian Volunteer Corps, are these mercenaries? Or what the hell are they? Okay, are they explained, but all right sector. Okay, let's see what these guys are. All right, here it is. Right sector Ukrainian Volunteer Corps. Disband active 2014 to 2022, disband 2022, and then got to to these guys website. You got that. The right sector was a paramilitary arm of the right-wing Ukraine Nationalist Party. Now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. Paramilitary arm of the right wing. See how I caught them here with ideological and persecution, right? Where is the persecution? Right here. You see how I told you this is just political persecution for highly ideological political persecution. Is this what the Russians were telling us about Nazis? Was the the Ukrainian Volunteer Corps were founded as one of the volunteer battalions that the Russians claim they went and they committed crimes in East Ukraine. Created as a response to the rise of pro-Russian separatism and the Russian intervention the Russian intervention. When 2014, the Russians intervened over there? Yeah, okay. In July 2014, these guys claimed to have 5,000 troops fighting over there, 5,000 troops. This changed, So we know, vigilante militias, Ukrainian volunteers. Okay, now we're going to go to what, Bandera here? Man. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Go and look for it. But you see, the truth is right there. The evidence is right there. The information is there. You just have to look into it. You have to do no more than 2 clicks. These guys are even lazy. to hide it, or maybe, not even mention it. The moment I saw that political persecution, first I thought that the commanders are of a certain kind of, ethnic background, let's put it mildly, even though those guys don't fight actively in a war. They have other people fight for them in a war. But that was the first thing. And then it was when I said political, I said, well, political could be something. And it says, highly or strongly ideological. I was, oh my God, these guys are those guys. These guys are those guys. So just, it's right there. It's a paramilitary right wing, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, here it is, my friends. They are disbanding these guys from there. They're taking them away to use them somewhere else. And that's first one. And the second one, they are losing in Chasib Yar. Let me show you the other map that I said. I realize that many times I forget, when I make videos, I forget to go back to show you maps that I said I will. So this is Bakhmut here, and this is Chasib Yar. So let's go closer. So this is Chasiv Yar, and this is where the Russians, Chasiv Yar, this is where the Russians are. So they are coming their way. They are at the suburbs and Chasiv Yar. Yeah, okay. This is it, as I indicated in this one. And not this one, this is another one. This is in Liman, not the garbage. And you see, as I told you, these guys have no update on their little thing. What I think, this is what I think. They are going to lose Chasiv Yar, Chasov Yar. They are going. Now they claim it's important. I think it's already dead and floating in the water downstream, face down. Chasiv Yar over there. And the Russians will take over. It's going to be a symbolic win. And it will happen, I think, before May 9th. Why these guys are fighting within the city? And then they show us pictures. Look what the Russians did to the city. They destroyed the whole city. Why? Well, we were fighting inside the city. Why were you fighting inside the city? Well, you fight the enemy wherever you find it. Okay, but then what are the invaders supposed to do? They're invaders, right? So if you know that, don't you protect your population, your city? Or you wanted to destroy, so when the invaders take over, they're going to have a hard work to do to rebuild this without American companies rebuilding Ukraine. If Ukraine wins, how are they going to win? I don't know. But I mean, I know how. It's only one scenario under which Ukraine, those guys behind all this will win. And that is if they somehow succeed in killing overnight about 300 people at high and important places in Russia and take over just like that. But I don't think that's going to happen. Or if they have the population of Russia just having a little revolution and go over, spontaneous revolution, and go and hang all these guys overnight the same way. And then they take over, and then the fun begins. They reconstruct, reshape the Russian mentality and culture and education and television, and they give all the best, like us here. Fuck. We gotta change that. So here it is. Prediction is gonna fall. This guy's gonna say nothing. It was just a symbolic win. Those guys, which I suspect they are patriots, but patriotism pushed to an extreme. Yeah, I mean, you can commit crimes regardless of what kind of ideology, even if, I mean, not even, mostly when you're inclined or you uphold certain kind of, ideals. Like, for instance, remember, certain things in history were done in the name of good. Like, for instance, some people think that if I give you this knowledge that there's someone over there who loves you, you're going to be saved. So I sincerely want you to be saved based on my, understanding and my heart. But sometimes you say you don't wanna. Clap, gloop. A lot of crimes were committed in the good, in the name of good. Again, I mean, ideologies like the communists, the guys behind the communists, thought, some of them, that that's a good system for everyone, and it's equitable. It's an equitable system. They really believe, and then crimes in the name of that. It's how you apply certain actions based on your, you push it on extreme. If you become a zealot, then you don't wanna burn you on the stake. A little inquisition here, a little inquisition there, a little bit of this and that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.